In this video, we're going to be discussing ways that you can incorporate a fertilization and weed control business into your current lawn care business if you're currently offering mowing services and you want to add additional services for your customers, or if you're just wanting to start a spray business or a lawn care, fertilization, and weed control business from scratch. Some of the ways that you can do that. We're going to talk about the equipment that you're going to need in order to get started, and also some of the regulations that you're going to have to go through before you can actually start that business. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Brandon Mitchell. I am the owner of Premium Turf. I also have a YouTube channel called Turf Culture, and I have a lawn care business where I have a fertilization and weed control business. And I am in the Echo UAG for the 2022 season, here to help you with some tips on how to start your fertilization and weed control business. So let's go. All right, so if you've already got a lawn care business now that's established, you've already got a customer base of mowing clients that you're currently servicing, and you're wanting to add fertilization and weed control services into your portfolio, it's very likely you already have an incorporation or an LLC established. You probably already have insurance. You've already got a vehicle, a truck that you use in order to pull a trailer perhaps. There's a lot of advantages to already having this set up and moving into a liquid fertilization business or a granular fertilization business with weed control. If you don't have any of those things and you don't have a current client base of mowing clients, then you're going to have to get all of those things, including some of the equipment that you're going to need in order to actually make those applications. But you need to incorporate yourself, whether that's an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp. There's a lot of resources that you can find on the UAG website to help you with that. You're going to need to build some sort of contract that you're going to be able to give to your customers that specifies what those services are that you're going to provide. And then you also need to get regulated by the Department of Agriculture for whichever state that you're going to operate in. And this is the single most important part, because if you're going to be applying herbicides and other things to your customers' lawns, you're going to have to be certified to apply restricted use pesticides or even fertilizers for that matter to an individual's property that is not your own in a commercial sense. So you're going to need to check with your state and local agencies to make sure that you not only obtain a license to apply chemicals, but that you renew that every 2 years, or at least that's how they do it here in Missouri, where I live. Now, Missouri also has an agreement with the surrounding states that you can apply, and your license is applicable in other states that are around me. So I'm actually really close to Illinois, so I can apply pesticides and herbicides in Missouri, but then also in Illinois as well. So once you have incorporated yourself, you're licensed, you're insured, and you're ready to hit the road and start adding clients into your client base, you're going to need some basic equipment in order to get you started. And there are some things that you can do to get in relatively cheap into the business and to make sure that you get your applications in, and you build a program around the type of applications that you want to provide your customers to make sure that they're getting the best possible results. And probably the most basic and most common piece of equipment that you're going to need is a granular spreader. Now, this is the new stainless steel. It's the RB85S from Echo. This is a new spreader that's out for 2022. It's a nice stainless steel construction, so it's great for commercial use. It's great for everyday use. It's a nice, accurate spreader. I've been trying this on a couple of my client lawns and my own lawn throughout the year, and so far I think it's a really great piece of equipment. So if you're wanting to get started, you can absolutely start with a 100% granular program for not only feeding the lawn in order to get it to grow in well, but also with weed and feed. If you want to control the weeds in the lawn, the customers are going to absolutely want that, because all green and no weeds is definitely what we're going for. Now, some other pieces of equipment that you're definitely going to want to have are spraying equipment. I have just a basic piston pump sprayer here. This is another Echo piece of equipment that I use for spot spraying weeds. If you're running a business where maybe you're just applying granular fertilizer and you want to spot spray some weeds in some of your customer lawns that are more of just a maintenance type of situation where they've got a couple of weeds and they only need to be spot sprayed, that's a great piece of equipment for that. If you're doing more blanket applications, you may want to look at maybe a backpack sprayer or an engine drive sprayer, kind of like the one you see right here. This is a 2-cycle engine drive backpack sprayer with a 6-gallon tank. This will cover about 6,000 square feet. I have a custom built wand that I built for this particular sprayer that I use on a couple of select properties. But for the most part, if I'm just spraying out a couple of weeds and I want to get in and out quickly, I will pre-mix my herbicide mix in this tank sprayer. Go ahead and spray the weeds that you see with a 4-way herbicide, and then you're in and out as quick as possible after fertilizing with the spreader. Now, if you live in a transitional area similar to me, where we have warm season and cool season grasses growing at any given time, you're going to want to have a couple of extra tanks on site, because you're not going to be able to use cool season herbicides on warm season grasses. So it's always good to have your own tanks for those types of applications, so that you're not damaging your customer's lawn and potentially losing out on some business. And so the next thing we're going to talk about is locating suppliers and maybe building credit or a rapport with some of your local suppliers. I always find it's best to buy your products local, because your margins are going to come into play here. And when it comes to a fertilization and weed control business, the margins are definitely better than a mowing business. So you want to be able to keep those margins and find the best possible prices that you can on your fertilizers and your herbicides. And maybe you're looking at sod, or you're looking at bulk materials like dirt and sand and anything of that matter. You're going to want to look around locally to find the best deals and build a rapport with those suppliers, so they can give you the best possible price. And if you can work out a credit system with them where you're continually using them for your needs, they're going to be a little bit more flexible with you on how they allow you to actually obtain that material. So I have relationships worked out with a lot of the suppliers here locally where I buy my products from. I also have some of my products custom blended, like fertilizers, to really fit the needs of my customers in my specific area. So I would suggest maybe doing a soil test on some of your customers' lawns to see what types of inputs are going to be most appropriate for your customers, and making sure that you're getting the best results out of the products that you're buying, so that you can get return business from them, and maybe they'll refer other customers to you too, because they're so happy with the results that they're getting from your business. So now, once you've done all of these things, you've determined that you've got your licensing, you've got your LLC if you're just getting started out, or maybe you're transitioning from a mowing business into a fertilization and weed control business, the most important thing is workplace safety. And so that comes down to PPE. If you currently are operating as a lawn care company, you're very familiar with this. So there's a couple of things that you're going to need for a fertilization and weed control business that you're going to want to add to the PPE that you're currently using. And the most important thing that I can identify here for you is chemical resistant boots. You definitely want to get some chemical resistant boots. You can find these pretty affordable at any ag supply shop. You can find them online. These boots cost me about 20 bucks, and they're full rubber. There's no seams in them at all. These are what I use during the lawn care season to protect my feet from the chemicals that I'm applying to the grass. You're also going to want some chemical resistant gloves for when you're handling the herbicides and the pesticides, because you definitely don't want to get these on your hands and transfer them to other places of your body through contact. So chemical resistant gloves are very important. And then also you're going to want some safety glasses. If you're currently a lawn care operator, you probably have a whole bunch of these laying around, but these are definitely important for when you're mixing chemicals. You don't want to get anything in your eyes, because that could be damaging to your vision and also bad for your health. Well, hopefully after watching this video, you've already applied for your applicator's license and you've got your fertilization weed control business set up and ready to go for the 2023 season. And once you use some of this basic equipment to get yourself started, which you can absolutely get fantastic results with spending a minimal amount of money up front to get your business started. As you grow, you're going to need to expand, and you're going to need to be more efficient, because you're going to be bringing on a lot more clients. So something like a ride-on sprayer, like a Permagreen you see here behind me. The Permagreen is a fantastic investment for someone who is growing their business. A 12-gallon sprayer like this one can spray up to an acre in 15 minutes. So if you're spraying 3 or 4, even up to 6 acres per day, you're able to use the Permagreen, and then you're really going to maximize your profits, because you're doing so much more coverage throughout the day with a ride-on sprayer than you can walking with a 6-gallon sprayer like that one. So a sprayer like this, like the Permagreen, is probably going to run you somewhere in the ballpark, if you buy one brand new, $12,000 to $13,000. You can find them used a lot of times under $5,000, which if you're looking for something in good condition, you're probably going to spend a little bit to get the actual sprayer. But long term, it's going to make you a lot of money, because you're being more efficient and you're getting much more done in a much shorter amount of time. Now, compared to the Permagreen, which will spray and spread at the same time, which will cost you, as I mentioned, anywhere between $12,000 and $13,000 new, probably somewhere in the $5,000 range used. A setup like this one with a couple of sprayers and a spreader, this will probably run you somewhere in the ballpark of about $1,000. And then also, of course, with your PPE included, you may run a few $100s more. But the cost of entry for just a basic fertilization and weed control business is very low. And then you can begin to accumulate some more equipment as you grow. So to wrap this video up, The most important things, as I mentioned, get certified by the state, get your PPE, find some equipment that's going to work right for you, and then also go out and do some marketing and determine if the area that you live in, or maybe the area that you service within your route, is a good place to start a fertilization and weed control business, and just go out and get started. You're going to find that the rate of return and the ROI for those customers that are getting the fertilization and weed control business are going to be much higher than just a mowing business. So I would suggest starting a fertilization and weed control business and do some research into the best possible programs. A simple program is going to work great for most people. You are going to have those clients that want the golf course lawn. You're going to have to do some practice at getting them that sort of aesthetic. But if you want a customer that just wants a green lawn with no weeds, you can absolutely do that. Just a few simple tools, and as you grow, you definitely want to grow your fleet. So with that, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find it helpful for those that are mowing lawns now and want to transition or add a fertilization and weed control business, or maybe you just want to start a fertilization and weed control business out of thin air like I did. These are some basic tips to get you started. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. Thank you so much for the time, and I'll catch you in the next one.